Welcome back, Sunnyside fam. It is Mr. Emge bringing you from 2021, the new year. I hope everyone had a great holiday break, a great New Year's Eve, and now we are back to school and it is e-learning day 3. And what we're going to be learning about today are 4 fitness components, 3 that we have already learned, and 1 new one today. So let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. So, the first one we're going to be learning today, the first fitness component, is cardiovascular endurance. So remember, in cardiovascular endurance, there are 3 main things that indicate it. It's either running, jogging, or walking. Those 3 things, those 3 activities have to deal with cardiovascular endurance. Remember, there's other activities that could deal with it, like biking or some other activities, but those are mostly the 3 main things that you deal with it, all right? So, now that we know that, we need to learn what is the main muscle in cardiovascular endurance. The main muscle that is in cardiovascular endurance is right in your chest right here. It is your heart. It is an organ and a muscle because it pumps blood throughout the body. So all the way up to your head, all the way to your toes, all the way to your fingertips. That is what your heart is doing to keep you alive. And remember, we learned this in class, ladies and gentlemen, that in your heart, and when it pumps blood, what's in there that helps you breathe is what is called oxygen. Oxygen helps you breathe. So that's why we need your heart to pump blood throughout your whole body to keep your body living and breathing. All right? And last thing about cardiovascular endurance that I want to talk about is how does that blood help you breathe? What mineral makes you produce oxygen? And that is iron. So that might be a bonus question on your quiz, or just might be a question. So remember those things. We have talked about those in class, so I think you'll get this all correct. So let's talk about the next 2 fitness components in our class that we have learned so far. The next one is muscular endurance. So it has the same second word as cardiovascular endurance. I didn't say this to begin with, but remember, endurance means you are doing it for a long time. So thinking about like it as stamina, all right? So if we're talking about muscular endurance, that means you are doing a muscular workout for a long time. So that could be Mr. Emge doing 20 push-ups and he can't do it anymore. Or it could be Mr. Emge doing 50 air squats, which we have done in class. So it's a long period muscular workout for a long time. So now that we know what muscular endurance is, we'll go right into muscular strength. Muscular strength is the complete opposite now. Strength is to see how strong you are. Remember that, strength and strong. So if I say muscular strength, it means Mr. Emge is trying to see how strong, how much weight he can lift, or how much muscular thing he could do for one time. Not many or multiple times, just one time. So an example of that could be Mr. Emge doing a bench press, and she's trying to see how much weight he could do. And maybe he only did 200 pounds, and that's all he could have done. So that means muscular strength, seeing how muscular you are one time. Now that we recapped our first 3 from e-learning day 1 and e-learning day 2, let's talk about the 4th, not final, because there's 5 fitness components, but the 4th and final one for today. So the last one is flexibility. I think we might have talked about this a little bit in our classes in person, but I want to go in further detail about flexibility today. So flexibility is when you are stretching, maybe before an activity or after an activity. The reason why we do this is to stretch our arms, our legs, our back, like anything in our body before we do activities is to warm up our bodies, and most importantly, it prevents injuries. That's why people do it before and they do it after. So remember, we talked about this. We do dynamic stretching in our PE class. We get to move around while stretching. That is what our warm-up lines are about. So it's so you prevent injuries before we get into the main activity during Mr. Emge's PE class. All right, that is all I have for today. I will also be giving you a workout that you could be following throughout this week. Look for that either today or the next day in e-learning. So it'll be a progressive thing that you guys can do for physical activity than just doing the quiz. So I wanted to give you a little bonus bit. I actually went over to Puerto Rico with my girlfriend, And I wanted to show you some things that we did. So maybe throughout this week, I'll show you some new videos of Puerto Rico so you could see different things about different cultures. And I hope everyone had a great and safe holiday break and New Year's Eve, because I hope you guys were with family, or if you were not, just for your immediate family or just the people you live with, and you had a great time on your holiday break. So, this is Mr. Emge, signing off.
Sunnyside fam, here from Puerto Rico. We are going to be doing some air squats. So for e-learning, day 1, remember, almost fell, feet shoulder width apart, arms out, go down to about 90 degrees and come all the way back up. So hopefully, back in Lafayette, it's a good time, chilling, and hanging out. That's it from Mr. Emge. Peace.